Hi, I'm Madison Brooks, and I'm going to tell you about what I did last summer. My mom is half Italian, and my grandmother's full, and they had always talked about wanting to go to Italy and go around Europe while we were there. And we had talked about it a couple of times, like saving up and going on a trip. And last Christmas, I was really surprised because I opened my last present, and it was actually plane tickets to go to Europe with my family. We planned for months. I was super excited to go, and by the time we left, my mom ended up making a 30-page itinerary of everything we would do every single day that we were there so that we could get the most into our trip. After a 12 to 14 hours of plane flights, we finally arrived in Rome, and we did a lot of sightseeing, went on some golf cart tours and stuff like that, and it was really cool to get to see all of the ruins and everything I had learned about since I was really young in school. After a couple of days, we rode a train and went up to Florence, and we spent a few days there doing some more sightseeing, and we actually got to spend a whole day on a tour going to random places like a wine uh, place, and we had lunch that was made there, and we also went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa and took the really touristy, stupid pictures. So we went to Venice, which is far my favorite place. I like the fact that there weren't cars or anything. It was the way to get around was by boat. Like, it felt like you were on islands, and if you wanted to go shop or go grab lunch, you'd have to get on like a ferry and ride all the way around, and it was just beautiful. Finally, we left Italy and decided that while we were there, we were going to go to Paris and to London to get the most of having to take a 12 to 14-hour plane flight. And I was partially glad to be out of Italy, even though I had loved being there, because I lived an entire week and a half off of pizza, gelato, and pasta, and I was ready for some American food. I would say one of the most interesting things that happened when going from Italy to France was the fact that my mom thought it would be a great idea to take one of the overnight trains where you get your own sleep car, and it was me and my mom and dad and my brother. And the car was probably about like my arm length, if that, and it was just bunks that came out of the wall. And the train conductor like went around and like took up all our passports, which had my mom freaking out. And the police actually, when we went into France, came and like knocked on our door and like forced my mom to give them back the passports, and it was really interesting. When we were in Paris, I noticed it was really similar to kind of like New York or something would be here, and it was really cool. Like, we got to see a lot of the main sites. One day we actually had to wait for like 3 or 4 hours. We finally got up in the Eiffel Tower, and by the time we got up there, it was pouring down rain and wind. It was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. You could like feel the Eiffel Tower just swaying, and like my mom and I were up there for like 2 minutes. We were like, we have to go down now. Next, we spent a few days in London, which was also really pretty. We got to do a lot of the main touristy things, like go to see the London Bridge, and we went on the double-decker buses that are so famous there. We also got to see the changing of the guards, even though it was really difficult because there was tons of people there trying to see it. After London, we finally came home after about 2.5 weeks. It was probably one of the best vacations of my life, and it was a great experience to get to see all of the artifacts and all of that. So I would suggest to anyone to really, at some point in their life, get to go see all of Europe, because it's so different from where we live now.
Once I get you up there, I'll be home.